What's up, YouTube? Today, I have another list for you, and it's my top 5 best non-running shoes. And by best, I just mean easiest to run in, despite the fact that they're not specifically made for running. Or if they were specifically made for running or some kind of sport, it was a long time ago, like in the 90s or 80s, so that technology is very much outdated compared to current running shoe technology. So we're going to be starting from worst to best, in my opinion. And obviously, there's a lot of sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead. I've been wearing different sneakers for many, many years. So this isn't like top five best non-running shoes I've ever worn per se, but just out of my current collection of shoes I have access to now, mostly I have at least one pair of all these shoes except one. We're going to start with the worst and go to the best. Number 5 of which would be Converse Chuck Taylors or Vans Authentic. I'm kind of grouping these into just like the number 5 category of just like minimal flat-soled shoes. Okay, I very much enjoy wearing these shoes in Florida where I live. It's hot, so I like the thin canvas sneakers. All right, flat sole for minimalist purposes. Okay, don't want to wear a comfy shoe if I'm not planning on running, okay, or walking long distances. If I'm going to the gym, I also don't need a very comfortable shoe. I prefer a flat shoe for doing stuff like squats or deadlifts or calf raises, you know what I'm saying? Feel with my toes, work on my balance more with a flat shoe than with like a big chunky sole, you know, like an Air Max, Nike or something like that. So anything flat, we'll put in this category, number 5. Converse Chuck Taylor, Vans Authentic, any other Vans, basically, they all pretty much have flat soles. A lot of other Converse have flat soles too. Any flat-soled shoe, basically, I'm trying to think of another. Maybe PF Flyers would fall into this category. They're basically like another kind of Converse Chuck Taylor. But I don't know, the sole might be thicker on those. I've never worn them, so I don't know. Number 4, Adidas Stan Smith, or the Adidas Stan Smith 2. You youngsters who wear Stan Smiths, let me know if you've ever seen these before. This is a Stan Smith 2, not the original Stan Smith, discontinued. I don't know if they'll ever make them again, which is a damn shame because these are my Stans for many years. Okay, as you see, slightly different than the Stan Smith. This is like the retro original Stan Smith. It usually says Adidas on the bottom, but these are the Kermit Stan Smiths. Well, the other one has Kermit on it. Look at this. Fucking fire, okay? Stan Smith on the tongue. The K stripes, okay, instead of stripes. Usually they have. Anyway, these are my Stan Smiths for like 10 years. I got these originally to actually play tennis in. This is a shoe that was like made for tennis in the 80s, but evolved into a casual shoe now because there's better tennis technology. But I put these on the list because being that they're made for tennis, even though it was a long time ago, they're pretty fucking comfy. These, which last came out in 2010, more so than these. The newer ones, I don't know if they're as good. I haven't worn the newer ones as long as these, so I'm biased. Lots of good memories in these shoes. But just when I started wearing these, I'm like, man, first of all, these are made out of the Adidas, what is this called? Prime green recycled material. Long story short, the leather's shittier on these than these. I have a hunch. Okay, but regardless, as far as a shoe you can run in that's not a running shoe, they'll both do the job. This is like if you have a slightly comfier version of a Converse Chuck Taylor or anything I mentioned in the previous category, okay? You see that sole? Pretty flat, but there is a bit of an arch to it. You can't really tell by looking. But when you put them on and wear them, okay, a bit comfier than the Converse Chuck Taylor, okay, because it's not just a flat, like memory foam. That's Converse. I mean, this is probably memory foam too, but it's a little bit, there's more memory foam than in a Converse. And then if you can get a pair of fucking Stan Smith 2s from 2010, okay, or either 2010 or 2008, I think is when these came out. Let's see. Look, tongue tag's still there. These came out in 2008. You see the date right under my finger? Highly recommend these, okay? I'm still doing my experiments on these, okay? Let me know if you want a Will It Run video in the Stan Smiths, and I'll do it. But either Stan Smith, okay, if you're just having a casual day, you might have to run short distances. You can do it in Stan Smiths, and you'll look way flyer than if you're wearing running shoes. Probably. Moving right along, number 3 is a Nike SB Dunk. I don't have a pair of these, and I don't have a pair of normal Dunks, but I'll throw a picture up on the screen. Okay, the Nike Dunk was originally made for basketball, sort of like the Air Force One, and now it's a casual shoe because they did not continue producing it as a basketball shoe, optimizing it They just left it as it was, and it's gone down in history as one of the most popular Nike shoes, okay? That and Air Force One, I think, are probably the most popular casual Nike shoes, and it does have a bit of cushion, particularly if you get a Nike SB, which stands for skateboard. That's Nike's skateboarding line. I had a pair of these for 10 years. They were fucking awesome. I kept them pretty nice, but I did wear them a lot too. Sold them recently, the Valentine's Day pair. I'll put them over here. And they've got a bit more cushion than normal Nike Dunks, which I actually haven't ever worn. But I think I've tried them on, and I'm pretty sure they're just a bit more comfortable than a Stan Smith. Perhaps not quite as comfortable as a Nike Air Force One if you've worn those, which we'll talk about later. And yeah, so the SB, if you're gonna get Dunks, get SB Dunks. Okay, most of them, with Dunks, if you want like looking at new colorway normal Nike Dunks these days, any colorway SB Dunks for the most part is gonna be cheaper and probably easier to buy, because now when they release Dunks, they're shittier leather, just like the Stan Smiths. I don't like those new laces Nike's putting on all the shoes, especially Dunks. Those Panda Dunks everyone's wearing, every time I see a pair of those, I'm like, those don't look that good. And I've done my research, they weren't made that good, okay? The leather's very bad on those. Great materials on the SB Dunks too. Often they're made with suede. The ones I had were suede and a pretty thick leather. The leather's more durable too, because skateboarders, they're rubbing on a fucking sandpaper skateboard, so they reinforce the leather on skate shoes to make them more durable so they don't rip. So better materials, easier to get, and comfier than normal Dunks. Okay, next Dunks I get most likely are gonna be SB Dunks. Okay, unless I do an impulse buy. Yeah, Nike SB Dunk, great running shoe, more comfortable than Converse's, Stan Smiths, and Stan Smith 2s, but perhaps not as comfortable as a Nike Air Force One. Okay, they might be tied. They might be the same level of comfort. I sold my Dunks a year or two ago, so I might have forgot. And I've worn these Air Forces quite a bit since then, or I have several pairs of Air Forces at this point. But I haven't been wearing this pair recently. If you want a triple black pair, 8.5, pretty good. Not on ice, slightly creased up, but not bad at all. You know what I'm saying? That's what the sole's looking like. Hit me up. I haven't listed these, but I will sell these to you again. This is a size 8.5, and I do think Air Force Ones might be more comfortable than Dunks, so I put them one level higher, but they're basically kind of like on the same level. Pretty comfortable. Not, I'd say damn near as comfortable as the shoes I run in, which is usually Asics GT 2000, but the shoe is much heavier than a running shoe, even if you have the low version. This is a mid, okay? All Air Force Ones are very heavy. It's like damn near like a half pound or like several ounces more than a running shoe ever should be. So heavy shoe, which does make the running experience worse than a running shoe. But I'd say comfort wise, as far as when you're dropping down from a distance, your foot onto the ground, okay, like you do when you're running, you're pounding on your foot's going to be more comfortable in an Air Force One than any of the other shoes I've mentioned. And again, the Air Force One is a popular casual Nike shoe. Unless you're looking for a crazy colorway, a triple black pair or the all white pairs, not that hard to get. Harder to get now than they should be, but I'm pretty sure you could still go to Foot Locker and get either one easily. And it's a classic colorway, classic fucking shoe. I love them. And about $100. Now they're like $120, but you hit me up, you can get mine. I'll sell you these for, forgot what I paid, but I'll sell you these for $45. Okay? That's a big discount. Oy vey, what a discount. Okay, I'm kind of Jewish, so I like discounts, and I like giving them to you, okay? Anyway, the last shoe on the list, Nike Air Max 95, okay? Out of all these casual shoes, I'd say this is the best non-running shoe. If you want to call it a running shoe, maybe you could say it's a running shoe. It was originally made for running, technically, but in the 90s, and compared to current running shoe technology, I'd say this is not ideal, because sort of like the Air Force One, it's a bit heavier than the running shoes I like running in. Usually they got, this is a engineered mesh pair from 2013, the Sunset Pack. Also for sale, if you want to buy them on my Depop, you can. But they're looking a bit different than the pictures. I need to take new pictures because over time wearing them in the past couple years, the soles started to kind of crack just from age. This happens in about 10 years with the Air Maxes, but they're still intact. I have worn them several times. Done some light running around, not actual runs, but they are very comfortable with the fat air bubble, and it's a great design, great sole. You see it's kind of got lugs on the bottom. Mine are still very much intact. Oh, so if you have to wear them on a rainy day, you're not gonna slip and slide. Okay, this pair I usually wear on the not so rainy days, because I have this pair that's like black on the bottom. I wear these on the rainy days sometimes. These might be my more worn pair. You can buy these on my Depop too if you want, but obviously they were made for running, so you can run in them. They're comfy and it's a very durable shoe. I've had these, what I say, I bought them in 2013, so I've had these shoes for 13 years. Didn't beat the hell out of them in high school when I got them, but you know, like I said, I wore them on the sunny days, which didn't happen too often. I lived in Ithaca, New York growing up, but since then I've worn them a lot since I moved here to Miami, and they've just held up. They're super nice. They take a really long time to wear down. Okay, my other pair's in pretty good shape too, as you can see. Okay. And I've worn these countless times too. These are a bit newer. This is a 2018 pair that I think I bought in 2020. But highly recommend that shoe. Like I said, you can buy either pair on my Depop if you want to take these off me. And you'll get a lot of life left out of them too. I think they're both priced around 35 bucks. And yeah, if you have to, you know, you're not sure if you're going to run on a given day, but you want to wear a fly casual shoe with a crazy color like this or like this, and you just want to make sure you're wearing a shoe that you can run in if you have to do some long distance running type of mission, highly recommend these. And that kind of goes for a shoe like this as well. If you don't have a pair of those, but you do have a pair of Nike Air Griffey Max 1s, it's basically got the same sole, different shoe. Made for like a cross trainer baseball shoe, but again, very durable shoe. This is a 2010 pair, more beat up than any of my Air Max 95s because I wore the shit out of these in high school. The lugs are going, but last time I wore them, I was not slipping and sliding, and I did retire these. I have them up there on the shelf because the glue is getting kind of dry. You see the sole separating on me here, and then the last time I wore these, I was in the gym. I was doing a farmer's carry, and I felt myself walking on the sole of the other one. It totally came off. I got to re-glue them at some point. Another shoe that would fall into this category, which is another old baseball shoe, is the Nike Air Max NM or Air Max Nomo. Haven't made these for a while, but if you have a pair, again, it's got that Air Max bubble that goes all the way around with the forefoot air. Very comfortable, very durable. I think this is like a 2012 pair I got my dad, but I found a pretty decent pair. The bubble's kind of cloudy, but you see it's a thick sole, and it's got the Air Max unit, which, assuming your air bubble doesn't pop, which I've never, you see I've showed you 3 of these shoes with this Air Max unit. I've never popped an air bubble. I don't know about the new Air Maxes, how durable they are in comparison. I've heard sometimes people's air bubbles pop, but not on any of the shoes I've mentioned. It's usually the ones with the 360 bubble, like those Nike Air Max 2011s. So any shoe with this air unit, I highly recommend. I have yet to really ever pop an air bubble or really have any problem trying to run around in any shoes like this. I haven't ever really worn these. I just got these from my dad. But the Air Max 95s and the Air Griffeys, highly recommend. So this is my list of the top 5 not running shoes. Interesting list. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. Let me know what your favorite sneakers are. And if you want to buy any of the sneakers I mentioned, except for these, Lou Stuff 23 on Depop. See you next time. This has been a Lou Runs list of running shoes you could run in that aren't actually running shoes. And yeah, let me know what you want to hear about next. Love you guys. Bye.